Hello, welcome back. Today it's all about character building. We're going to build a character for ULTRAMODERN 5, the Techie. Now, for those of you who are unaware about what happens here, this is where the live stream audience helps me build the character. I'm going to give you some choices, things like that. ULTRAMODERN 5 has been a system we've been working through for a little while now. And I'm looking forward to being able to do more of this in the future. We still have a few more classes to work through because there are so many. I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll or not. It's up to you. But I suggest that you have dice ready. You will need dice. You're going to be rolling some dice. You're going to be making some decisions. So if you're not subscribed and you want to use the chat comment section, please subscribe so you can be part of this process. Otherwise, grab some food, some drink. Make sure you are comfortable. I'll get straight into this. We won't muck around. We have a lot to do in a very short space of time. Anyway, let's get going. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about ULTRAMODERN 5 and character building. Character building for the Techie. What is a Techie? Well, a Techie is all the things you would assume that we're talking about. Like a Techie is the person who does the repairing and builds stuff. It's the Techie. It could be a mechanic. It can literally be anything under the sun. Okay, it can be more sci-fi, it can be more modern, but the Techie is very much about modern and sci-fi interpretations of a mechanic or a technical individual, somebody with technical skills. Okay, so this is where we will normally go into determining the name of the character, and then because ULTRAMODERN 5 is really a it's completely compatible with Dungeons and Dragons 5e. So it's really the same system you are familiar with. If you've played D&D 5e, you can play ULTRAMODERN 5. It's not that difficult. It's really quite simple. Okay, so that is my suggestion, is like make sure you have some assets around available for you, and I'm going to be following the chat with my phone while I put in the information and present the character sheet, which I have with me in a second. Once all of the notifications stop getting pumped through to me. Anyway, hello Fred Huber, how you doing? Nice to have you, glad to have you here. Anyway, let's get started into the process of building this character. Now, one of the things I want to make it clear is when we do character building for ULTRAMODERN 5, I'm going to go through the process. We know what our class is going to be. It's going to be Techie. We're going to give it a name. Okay, Scotty is a name that's been suggested, but you're welcome to suggest a different name if you want to. Now the classes start on page 58, but the page number we need for our Techie is 94 of ULTRAMODERN 5 Redux. Then we do the birth or race, which is on page 18. That section starts there. So braces and it's called a birth. Okay, and then we're not going to do archetypes because you don't get archetypes till level 3, and we're not going to build a character to level 3 for ULTRAMODERN 5, just to level 1. So if you want to use that, though, it's on page 98. And then we're going to do our life path or background. Okay, for those of you who are familiar with D&D 5e, our life path is a background, essentially. And that starts on page 36. I'll go through them. You're going to select one of those. We can do our gear, which starts on page 116 and goes on forever. And we may get to ladders. We often don't get to ladders because the process is quite complicated sometimes. There's a lot of choices. ULTRAMODERN 5 is rife with player options. Ladders are essentially a tree of feats that you can use. It's optional, and it starts on page 48. If we have time, we'll get to that. If we don't, we don't. Anyway, now that I've explained all that, let's go cracking into this, shall we? Let's get it started. And so the first thing is the character name. So let's start with that hashtag. What is the character's name? And I've already had a suggestion put forward, which is always great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get you doing some stuff fairly quickly. Okay, I don't want you to wait too long. So what I'm going to do is you're going to get 6-sided dice. Roll 4 of them. Okay, so hashtag, here we go. Please roll 4d6 for ability scores. Now what I want you to do when you're rolling your 6-sided dice, okay, roll them and give me all the numbers, okay? I will do the mathematics from there. We're going to be doing a process of you roll 4, you drop the lowest number and keep the other 3 numbers and you add those together. That's how we get the score. But don't just give me the score, otherwise I'm going to ignore it. You need to give me the actual rolled numbers, okay? And we'll see how we go. So let's get Scotty in there. While you're doing that, I will pump in some information. We're not going to do archetypes because there's a standard system in this game. ULTRAMODERN 5 applies archetypes at level 3. They aren't all over the place like in D&D 5e. Dungeons and Dragons 5e has them scattered all over the place like confetti, but that's not how that works here in this game. Okay, class, the Techie. We're probably not going to do letters, so I'll put NA for now unless we get to it. Player name we'll worry about later. You don't have any experience points. How are we doing? Thank you, Pale Rider, for rolling some dice. And I see Fred Huber's already rolled 4 sets of dice, which is great. That gives us some numbers. So we're going to go straight to the numbers. And I'm going to start pumping them in and adding them up and putting them into the document. Now we're going to move those numbers around later on. Just because I put them into a certain, ULTRAMODERN 5 goes with strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, just like D&D 5e. Okay, it's very much the same system in terms of how it approaches that. But we're going to move those numbers around because we can. Okay, so I'm going to take 3 sets from Fred Huber and 3 sets from Pale Rider unless somebody else rolls some dice. So I'm going to take up my glasses, drink some water. I'm going to do some math. Okay, let's do some math. First set of numbers. So Fred Hubert, let's get rid of the hat. Don't need that. 5, 4, 4, and 2. So if I take that and I drop the lowest number, which is a 2, I keep the 5, 4, and 4, that comes to a grand total of 13. So that's our first number going into here. Now I'm putting it in the big space, but that's just so that you can see it clearly. Okay, we're going to transfer it down later when we need to. The next one you've got here is a 6, a 5, a 3, and a 1. So drop the 1 because it's the lowest number, and we add the other numbers together. So 6 and 5 is 11, and 3 is 14. So we get a 14. Again, do not worry about the position of these. It doesn't matter. As I said, we will shift them later. Okay, your next set of numbers, you have a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 4. So we drop one of the 4s because that's the lowest number, and we get a grand total of 15. So 6, 5, and 4 is 15. So we'll put 15 in here. Okay, doing well. And then we're going to switch over and do Pale Rider's numbers. He's got a 6, a 4, a 4, and a 6. So we're going to drop one of the 4s because that's the lowest number, and we get a 16. So 6 and 4 and 6 is 16. These are high numbers that we're rolling today, by the looks. We don't always get high numbers, but this is definitely looking quite high. Pale Rider's next set of numbers are a 5, a 2, a 5, and a 4. So we will just scroll down a little bit so we can fill in the next set. So we're going to drop the 2 because it's the lowest number. We keep the 5s and the 4, which comes to a 14. Wow, we haven't had any single digit numbers yet. And then the last set, which is also going to be very, very high, we've got 2, 6, 6, 3, and 6, which means we drop 3 and we get an 18. Core Blommy. Something like this happened to me when I was rolling for my stats in our home game. Is we decided to roll for all of our ability scores in our game, and wound up getting some crazy high numbers. You can get crazy low numbers, but quite often you can get crazy high numbers. Anyway, that's our first task done. Now you remember how I said we need to actually determine some of our different things. We've got to do our birth or race. So we're going to do our birth or race first. Okay, so here's ULTRAMODERN 5. And our birth, we're going to go to page 18. I'm going to go through the options. Hashtag. Now, I'm going to go over the classes features. In fact, maybe I should do that now. I won't go over all the options first for the class. What I want you to do is do all the picking and selecting first. Really, that's what I want to do. But what I will do, maybe I should actually at least give you an idea of the sorts of things you're going to get as a techie. That might be kind of helpful to you. And then we'll go into the choices for that later on. Okay, so 94, page 94. Might have to zoom in a little bit, but I keep going. Techie, here we go. Here's the techie. So I'll just zoom in a little bit. So at level 1, we get quite a few different things. We'll deal with that other stuff later. Here you can see shiny red button, widget bag, tech points, and tech savant. So you get an enormous amount of stuff at level 1. This is quite common for ULTRAMODERN. It is actually very common to find that you wind up with a lot of different options and things that you can do straight out of the bat. Chris Dayas, who's the creator of the game, is very much about the class should do most of what it's supposed to do straight away. That's sort of been his approach. And actually Wizards of the Coast does a lot of that themselves. Next, we go here. So just drop these down and we'll come back to them and I'll go over that information a little bit later. I just want them lined up so you can see what we're getting for now. And I'll drop that down a little bit. Okay, cool. So that's that bit done. So now let's deal with our birth. We're going to select a birth. I'll go through them fairly quickly. I've done this before. So select a birth or race. Okay, let me go through them for you. I will just zoom this out a little bit because that's a bit too much magnification going on there. Okay, here we are, birth section, page 18. So ULTRAMODERN 5, there's going to be a lot of aliens here. If you're wondering, aliens galore. So the Kono is a sort of a big-headed, multi-eyed, flat-headed, mushroom-looking creature with multiple arms. Okay, it's an alien. It's like a big red cap. The next one is an insect. Catine. So the catine, multiple arms. I'm not going to go through all the different features, but you could be a multiple-armed sort of insect-like creature if you want to. We have the altered. The altered, this is where you have mutations going on. So you can have mutations and alterations to your hands. You can be aquatic. You can have alterations to your arms, a big nose, carapace, which is like a shell, chompers, deformities, digigrade, enhancement, fine hairs, fragile, iron nails, rhino hide, simple deficiencies, keen eyes, keen hearing, large legs, slow, speed changes. You can have tail, wing, a wicked tongue, a metabolic disease. You can have a different adjustment to your metabolism. You can be mute. You can have quills. You can fly with wings. Okay, things like that. Next, we have the animalist. The animalist is really, all the subclasses are based around animals. So you get your basics, but then you get the option to either be the ape sub-race or badger. You could be bat, bear, elephant, frog, boar, goat. The goat is the one that's the image that you just saw. You can be crocodile, hawk, shark, tiger, horse, possum, turtle, wolf, rabbit, and the rat. Otherwise, you can be an automation. We've done most of these now. I'm pretty sure we've done all of them, actually. Automation. Now, there's two choices with the automation. One that looks more like a robot, and one that looks more like an android. So it's really up to you which one you would prefer. There's also human. We've done human, actually, last week. Human's pretty basic. You get essentially one thing that makes you stand out, okay? And it's sort of like a genetic benefit of some kind. You got the morpher, which is really quite gruesome and gross. You get some transformations you can perform. One is the clay option, forming a shield, forming a weapon, shaper. So you can. This is literally what you can wind up doing. This is quite gross, disgusting. The spliced is kind of like human spliced with animal. So it's not quite so animalistic as it's not like a humanoid animal. There's bits of animal in you, but it's not quite so prevalent as the animalist. So the spliced, you can splice in bat, bear, beetle, bee, cat, viper, chameleon, dolphin, eagle, wolf, wolverine, horse, rabbit, and rat, and the spider. Otherwise, we have the tuner, which is basically sort of like a psychic, magical human. You have the yokai. Yokai are able to change form. They have some different forms. And those are the options available to you. Okay, so it's really sort of up to you what you would like. Pale Rider. Is there a birth race we haven't done? I believe we maybe we haven't. Have we done the yokai? Have we done the yokai? I don't know if we have done the yokai. You want to go with human again? Animalist, mosquito, human. Well, I'm fine. You both put down human. Let's do human. I don't mind. We did human last time. For those of you who don't want it to be human, you can always override Fred Huber and Pale Rider by voting, like by actually putting in your feedback and like, I would prefer this, you know, because Pale Rider and Fred Huber in particular are putting in suggestions because if nobody else does, I need somebody to say something. Otherwise, I just sit here waiting forever until the end of the stream. So since we've got 2 votes for human, we'll do human. That's fine. I don't mind. Okay, all good, all good. So let's go back to the human. And we did human last week, which was not that hard to do. It was actually pretty basic. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. Okay, right, there it is. There's the human. So we're going to get to increase all of our ability scores by 1. That's one of the benefits. Age, we don't need to worry too much about alignment. I wouldn't worry about size. We're going to be medium, fine. We can put in our 30 feet right now. So I can do that right this very second. 30 feet. Pretty obvious. Human. And just updating my phone, make sure I'm catching up. Oh, you changed mine to spliced. Spliced. Okay, so we're back to spliced. Okay, all right, going to spliced. 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 I think we have done spliced before, but if you want to splice away, that's fine with me. I don't mind. Let's go. Where can we find the splice? It's analyst. I have got to make this a little bit smaller. Analyst, the splice must be further on. It's that one, it's that one, it's that one, it's the morpher, must be next. Here we go, splice. So which splice are we going to have? If we're splicing, what are we going to use in terms of a splice? You've got spliced, so what are we splicing? Are we going spliced bat, bear, beetle? Are we splicing in the bee, the cat, chameleon, viper, wolf, dolphin, eagle, wolverine, horse, rabbit, rat, or spider? So what splice? Okay, what splice? You want a bug? If you change it again to mess with me, you know what's going to happen. I'm just going to ignore you. Do you want it to be a beetle? If you want it to be a beetle, you can be a beetle. I don't mind. It's fine. You want a cat? One is a beetle, one is a cat. All right, so we're going to do some rolling off. Okay, so 1 to 3 is going to be the beetle. All right, 1 is going to be the beetle since you said bug, and 1 is going to be the cat. And if you change it again, I'm going to ignore you. Okay, just so it's clear. Right, so 1 to 3 is the beetle, and 4 to 6 is the cat. 4 to 6, we're going cat today. Oh my, cat. Spliced cat. Do B. Well, you lost out because the cat won, so it's not going to be a B. Okay, beetle B, yeah. The cat wins today. All right, so we've got dark vision, we've got keen sense. I'm going to take these and copy and paste them in right now because just to save myself a bit of time and drama before those two can create more drama for me. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I love you too. Here we go. Let's get this in here. Now, if I can actually get this to actually do what I want it to do, which is actually link it up properly, not take up too much space. We are, oh, that's not doing what I wanted to do. Space. What is it doing? Yeah. Oh, now it's going crazy. Oh, now if I lost control of my mouse and it's like the space bar's turned off. Oh, this is going to work really well. Why is the space bar turned off? Is my space bar dead? Did it finally die on me? I don't know. Okay, so this is not helpful. It's like my keyboard is maybe it's died on me. Okay, so I'm going to do a if I do a refresh, will it lose everything? I might lose everything. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, I lost everything. Bugger. Okay. All right. So I'm going to redo it and see if it'll actually do what I want it to do. Sorry, people. Technical issues. I'm having technical issues. So while I'm typing this in, I suppose I should give you some choices to make since we have determined what this is going to be. Cat, class, techie. I'll deal with all the other stuff later once I get a chance to go back to that. Let's do our next choice since we've determined what it's going to be. Oh dear. Next, we're not doing an archetype because we're not going to level 3, but we are going to have to do a life path. Okay, so life path is on page 36. And we'll pick a life path. I'm going to go through the life paths fairly quickly. You're going to pick one and I will type in the other information while you're deciding. Pick a life path or background. Okay. Let me go through the life paths. I've done this before. It usually breaks my voice. You can make your own just like in D&D 5e, but I'm not going to do that in a live stream because that would just make my head explode. Affluent. So the first one is affluent. For those of you who are here, you can vote, remember. Affluent. You pick either skill proficiency in deception or perception. Deception or persuasion. Deception or persuasion. Tool proficiency is 1 musical instrument. Languages 2. Equipment, a set of fine clothes, $20, and a leather wallet. You can have the bruiser, which you pick either skill proficiency in athletics or acrobatics, 1 language of your choice, a trophy from a fight, an official document, $20 in loose bills, common clothes. Otherwise, you can be a delinquent. Your skill proficiency would be sleight of hand or deception. You pick one. Tool proficiency is thieves' tools, 1 language, equipment, common clothes, $15, which you probably stole. Disciple. Your skill proficiency you choose from is going to be religion or nature. You pick 1 language. You have equipment, holy item, and it includes some books and symbols and a set of common clothes. You can be a drifter. So your skill proficiency is going to be either deception or survival. Languages is 2. Pick 2. Equipment, a set of common clothes, backpack, bedroll, blanket, and $5 in coins. You're not rich. Intellectual. If you want to be an intellectual, you pick your skill proficiency is either engineering or science. You get 2 languages. Equipment is going to be a set of common clothes, a handful of textbooks, and $15 in your wallet. You can also be a labourer. Skill proficiency, either animal handling or athletics. Tool proficiency, 1 set of artisan tools of your choice. Languages is 1 language of your choice. Equipment, 1 set of artisan tools, $50. Okay. Next, proficiency. Oh, no, not progeny, not proficiency. Progeny. I'm going to get this a lot of. If I get confused, it's going to happen. Skill proficiencies that you can pick, either athletics or performance. Tool proficiency is 1 musical instrument or 1 artisan tool. Languages, 1 language. Equipment, 1 musical instrument or an artisan tool, a trophy, and $15. You can also be a recluse. So a recluse gets skill proficiency, either computer use or investigation. You get 2 languages. Your equipment is a set of common clothes, a personal computer, $20 in prepaid cards, and $20 in cash in your wallet. You can be a regular Joe. If you want to be a regular Joe, you can. Regular Joes, you get to pick 1 skill proficiency of your choice. And you also get to pick a tool proficiency. 1 tool proficiency or 1 vehicle proficiency of your choice. Languages, you get 1. You get $50 in your wallet, and that's that. You've got everything. Smooth talker. Skill proficiency, either going to be intimidation or persuasion. Your tool proficiency is 1 gaming set, 1 language to choose from. Equipment is 1 gaming set, a set of fine clothes, $50 in your wallet, and you are ready to rock. And then we can do origins and other things. We'll deal with those later. We're not going to deal with them now. So just pick a background. It is April the 1st. Well, remember, it is April the 2nd here in New Zealand. Okay, April the 1st was yesterday. Failed cloning experiment. Recluse. So I've got 1 vote for recluse. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go over here and try to fill in this thing that got messed up because I pressed a button that I wasn't supposed to press. Probably because I was trying to go too fast. And it all got ballsed up, which happens sometimes. Alright, and we've got Techie, we've got 0 experience here, we've got none of that there. We'll deal with that shortly. And where else was I going to fill in here that I need to? Okay, alright. Have we decided, is it going to be the recluse? Is the recluse the one that we want? It looks like Pale Riders voted recluse. Okay, recluse it is. Recluse. Our recluse is our background or our life path. And I will drop in the various information and we're going to get you to make some decisions. Where is it? Here we go, recluse, here we go. So, couple of things we need to deal with. You need to pick either computer use or investigation as your skill. Recluse is fine. Of course it is. Hashtag. Pick a skill proficiency. And it's going to be either animal handling or computer. No, investigation or computer. Computer use or investigation. Computer use. Okay. All right, computer use it is. So we can just mark that off. Create 2 languages, people. Hashtag 2 languages. So I would suggest just make them up. Just make up 2 languages. I don't care what they are. Okay, computer use. So we've got that one. And what else is there that we need to do? Common clothes. We'll put that in. Personal computer. We've got that. We need to have that one in here. It's actually probably a good choice. Actually, when you think about it, Techie, get a kind of personal computer going with that gear. Pretty good point, because like personal computers are expensive, so you're getting one straight off the bat at level 1 is going to be difficult, unless you did take recluse. So I'm sure you didn't. That wasn't lost on either of you. I'm sure everybody figured that one out. So $20 in prepaid cards. If I'm cutting and pasting, it's because I just want to speed up the process. Okay, that's the deal. It's like, how fast can I put this together? How fast can we make a character? And then $10 in our wallet. So we've got a wallet as well. Got a wallet and $10. I'll just put it in the gold section. 10. Klingon and Tabaxi, Gutter, Speak, and Trade. Okay, so I'm gonna pick 2 of those languages. I'm gonna pick one from each one. So one you've got here, Klingon, and you've got here Gutter. All right, well done, very good, cool. We've got those done, and then I believe all the choices we needed to make are done for our background, so that's wonderful. Okay, we can go back to our birth and deal with our birth, since we are playing a spliced cat. Where are we? Spliced cat. Go the other way. Spliced cat. The splice. Not the spice, but the splice. Rock and roll, down, 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 splice. Here we go, here we go. Here's the splice. So I'm going to make a note of some of the things we need to include into our splice. We're going to need more languages anyway, people. So I'm already looking at those. You speak Common, and you have a walking speed of 30 feet. So we can put the walking speed of 30 feet in there, since we definitely know we're going to be 30 feet. And Common is also in there as well. Got Common, whatever that is. One of your ability scores is going to be increased by 1. So increase 1 ability. We'll come back to that. 1 ability score. Age, let's not worry about that. We're medium sized, that's fine. We've got our language. Subrace, which is the cat, so we'll go down to the cat. Let's go down to the cat. So we also got an increase to a dexterity score by 2. Increase. So remember that. We're increasing our dex because we are a spliced cat by 2. Increase to dex score. Okay, one we select, one we don't. We get dark vision. Let's take our dark vision, and hopefully I can do this time without a complete mess. Copy. Drop it in. Paste. Please do not get messed up this time. And dim conditions. Come on. There we go. There we go. There we go. It's that one. That one. Dim light. Full stop. New line. Okay, what was the other thing that we get? We get keen sense. So basically night vision. Dark vision is just pretty standard. Keen sense, keen smell. Keen smell. Makes sort of a lot of sense, doesn't it? Keen smell. So you have advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on smell. You can smell really good. Here we go. Paste. Yeah. Come on. Do it. And will that move? Okay. And then that, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, we got that. So what else did I need to transfer over from our spliced character? No, that's everything. So that's good. So that's that sorted out. So we've done our birth. We've done our life path. We have to do our class information. This is where we're going to have to sort of move things around a little bit. Okay, so we're going to have to make some decisions while I'm typing stuff up. So back to here. I need to make sure I put these numbers in because I lost them all. They were there. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 14, and 18. Okay. All right. Sweet. All right. Let's assign our ability scores. Character is hello, Chris. How's it going? Chris. You don't need to worry about being late. I totally understand. It's all good. It's all good. We're in the process of doing the techie. We're doing actually very well, even though I managed to mess up the character sheet really badly. But we are doing pretty well. So we're going to get you to decide where do the ability scores go. And I'll give you what the ability scores are. Let's try that. Ability scores. And they are, we have an 18, 16, a 15, two 14s, Jesus, high, and a 13. Did I get it right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I did. There we go. So decide where how you would like to be, how they're going to be ordered, and I will rearrange them once you've decided what that's going to be. I was finishing my layout on Amethyst Revelations, hoping for a digital release next week. 430 pages. Good Lord, Chris. Man, you write too much. It's good. Terrible for you, but great for everybody else. Okay. So while you're deciding on that, I'm going to transfer some of the information that I was supposed to transfer over last time that I lost because I ballsed things up a little bit, but that's all right. We'll get there. We can put our proficiency bonus in because we're level 1, so that's just a +2, just like in 5e, so it's not hard to figure out. It's pretty easy. And drop this in, plain text, the widget bag, shiny red button. What else? Come on. I've got to be careful I don't mess it up this time. There's no way I can redo this all again. It would just drive me nuts. And I'd feel terrible. But there's no way I'm going to do it again. Anyway, so we've got those in there. We've done that. Pretty happy with that. How's the voting going? Okay, Pale Rider's put in his decision. There might be some. I very much like to see some other people putting in their 2 cents. Like, you can make some decisions. It is all right to make some decisions on this. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's have a look what we've got to do here. So we have some weapon proficiencies. We have simple weapons and one-handed small arms. So we'll take that and we'll drop that into our proficiency section, because that's what we get. Cool. And then what else did we get? What's our... Oh, we get light and medium armor. So we make sure we get the light and medium armor. Come on. Light and medium armor. Oh, come on. Let's just go armor, light and medium. Copy. I don't call this cheating. I call this prudent and smart. Okay? Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Dex does get a +2 to it. You're right. Dex does get a push because of our cat splicing. I see that you guys are... Strength is not required. It's a computer geek. Fair enough. Well, you both got strength sort of down the end there. Dex, int. Oh, there's a bit of a battle. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a roll-off between Dex and int as the first one. Oh, it's going to be fun. Next, let's grab the tools, Tinker Tools, all ground vehicles and aircraft. Oh, you lucky buggers, you. Man, you get a lot. It kind of makes sense. You are a techie, right? Instead of having to make those hard choices, oh, do I want to have Tinker Tools? Or do I want ground vehicles? Or would I like aircraft? No, you just get it all. Dear. Okay, next. We get saving throws. We are proficient in intelligence and wisdom. That makes sense. Let's go up here. Intelligence and wisdom. We'll mark them off. What else? Engineering. So you're going to get engineering as a skill straight off the bat. There's no deciding whether you want to take it or not. You just get it. This is the sort of thing that I like to see when people build a class, that they don't bollock around with things. Okay, you get to select 6 different skills from now. Select 6 skills on top of the engineering and the other one that you got. So I'm going to go through the skills with you. Yes, I've heard about the new Shogun TV series. Pick six skills. All right. So, don't jump the gun. We'll do the skills. I'll tell you what the skills are. We've already got computer use, so you don't have to worry about that one. You've already got engineering. So pick from demolitions, history, insight, investigation, medicine, nature, perception, performance, and sciences. So you've got 9 choices, and out of those 9 choices, you have to pick 6. You've got it so hard. Wow. You must be just crying. You're going to have to give up 3 of those. Out of 9 choices, you're going to have to give up 3 of those choices. Life is hard, isn't it? When you're building a character, you must feel the strain right now, and like, man, the world is just not fair to me. You know, game systems, they're just not very nice to me, things like that. So you get an engineering kit. So we're going to take down our engineering kit as part of our gear and drop that in. Dear. For those of you who think I'm serious, I'm very rarely am I particularly serious. So yeah. And that's common close. We'll just tidy this up a little bit. Personal computer, got that. Personal computer. Investigation, insight, and sciences. Perception, demolitions, and performance. Okay, well that's 6. Well, that's nice and easy. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Let's go. Investigation, insight, sciences. That's 3. Perception, demolition, and performance. This really is I mean, there's definitely some themes going on here, but there's a little bit of a mixed bag going on there too. We just selected fool me never. Fool me never. Oh, I see. Never will you fool me. Okay, so I just need to make a note of these because there's some choices. So at some point we're going to do some small arms. $300 is our limit for our small arms that we get. We also get a set of armor. Can be light or medium. And our budget for that, for our armor, is 300 or less. Okay. We get 300 additionally in non-military gear. No weapons. Oh, he's been very specific about this too. Gear. So you can't spend this money on grenades and demolitions. Oh, performance art is demolitions. Really? Is that where we're going with this? Yeah. Keep telling yourself that. Anyway, I'm going to drink some water. Let's go back to our ability scores because there is some rolling off required. I see there is sort of a disapproval between Fred Huber and Pale Rider. Pale Rider wants int and Fred Huber wants dex. So dex is 1 to 3, 4 to 6 is the int. It gets the big 18. I got a 6. Guess what? Int gets the 18. 18. Okay. Which means that dex will get the 16. Correct? Cool. Next, down the line, making choices. I believe we have, what am I looking at here? Pale Rider, Fred Huber. Dex Int, Wisdom and Con, and you've got Con and Charisma. So Con seems like it's going to be the next one. So that'll be the 15 is going to be in Con. That's fine. Con is 15. Cool. Moving on from Con, so last 3, you've got Charisma, Pale Rider, and then Fred Huber, you've got... you had Wisdom, didn't you? Not Con, you had Wisdom. Wisdom and Con. Okay, so I'll roll off between Wisdom and Con, and we'll see how we go. So Wisdom is going to be 1 to 3, and Con will be 4 to 6. All right, so it's Con. So Con 1, which means that Wisdom will get the 14. Okay, and then the last one you've got is Strength is the weakest one, which is a 13, which kind of solves our problem. It's already there, I believe we're just got to take out the Charisma being an 18 and make it a 14 because there's 2 14s and not 2 18s. Okay, let me just check to make sure I got this right. Strength, yes. 16, Dex, Con, 15. 1 18, the rest of the 14s. Okay, that's good. Okay, cool. Now let's make some adjustments to our dexterity since we get a +2. Because we are a spliced cat. So 16 becomes an 18. And then you get to select one ability score to improve. Don't you forget to make Dex 18 with +2. I've done it. Don't worry. Pounds of plastic explosives. You're not going to get it. You're going to have to steal it. Okay, hashtag. Which... ability score is increased by 1. So decide what you want to improve. Improving the odd numbers. Well, yes, that's fine. You can improve an odd number. 15, Con could go from a 15 to a 16. Strength could go from a 13 to a 14. Otherwise, really, you've got... you're increasing dexterity. Well, no, you can't do dexterity because it's already going to a boost, but you could do intelligence from 18 to 19. Otherwise, it's wisdom or charisma. You decide. You tell me. I don't really mind that much. It's not a big issue for me. I'm all good with whatever you want to do with that. Okay. So you decide. Let me know. I'll put it in. We cool? Cool. Fred Huber. Is Fred Huber picking today? There's no battle of the dices. I always find it quite amusing when you guys do the battle of the dices. Okay, so we need to do some of the class stuff. So we need to go through the class options. Con. You want to go Con up? Fine, Con is up. 16. So now that we've got our numbers, we can then transfer the big number that we got there into the small space and put in the modifier. I think we'll do that right now, just to avoid getting into trouble. So 13, 18, 16. Let's lock this down. 18. Geesh, there's a high score. So 14, 14. Okay, so a 13 is a +1. 18 is a +4. Constitution will be a +3. Intelligence, 18, we get a +4. And then the wisdom is a 14, so it's a +2. +2, get it right. And then 14 again is a +2. You got no stinking ability scores, frankly. You're doing really well. Okay, so we can actually do a little bit of additional stuff, like, and I can do the hit points at level 1. You get 8 plus your constitution modifier, and otherwise you're going to be further levels, you'll be rolling a d8 or using 5 as the average and adding your con modifier every time you go up above level 1. So, let's get that done, shall we? Con is a 3 and 8, so max hit points is 11. Current hit points is 11. Which means we can go in here and type in how many of these we get. We get 1 in total, and it is a 1d8. 8, come on. Plus 3 every time we use our short rest mechanic. That's that done. Don't worry about that. That's not applicable in A for you. And right. Cool. So we could also do some selecting of. We have done origins before. We could do origins again. We could do origins. We did the life path, life event too. That was kind of fun to do that. So let's do them, and then I can just start going over all the class information. So where are we? Life path 36, and I'm pretty sure after life path that's where we start getting origins and other things. So if I just scroll on down here very quickly. Yeah, origin. So we're going to pick an origin. Pick an origin and roll a d20. Come on, hashtag. Pick an origin. And roll d20. You need a cantrip or you catnip inhaler. Oh, good lord. So we have parenting as an origin. You can have status. You can select casualty, sibling rivalry, separation, sibling viewpoint, surrogate, or just siblings. So any of those are options for you. We'll do the life event in a second. So decide what you would like. For my next detonation, grammar, all right, okay. All right, you detonate away. You tell me when you finish detonating. Have I included all of the... I can do some of the maths while I'm waiting for you guys to make a choice, which I don't normally do now. I normally do that later, but yeah, let's just plug it in now. Strength is a +1 because it's just our modifier. Dexterity is just our modifier for our save. 16. Yeah, you got to roll the number, but you also got to pick one of the different origins. Is it surrogate, sibling viewpoint, separation, casualty, sibling rivalry, or is it status, or is it parenting? You tell me which one you want. Okay, and I will accommodate you for your origin. Okay, next. Constitution is not proficient, so we just get a +3 for our modifier. Now, intelligence we are proficient with, so we get a +2 for the proficiency bonus, and we get our intelligence bonus modifier. So that's 4 and 2 is 6. Next, wisdom is a +2 for the modifier and 2 for proficiency, because we're trained in it, proficient, so that's a 2 and 2 is 4. And the last one is just going to be a +2 because it's just our modifier this time. Okay, do both. Sibling rivalry. Okay, separation. You want to do both? Oh my god. Of course you do. Okay, let me see. Let's see what we got here. So, separation and sibling rivalry. Talk about making things complicated. Sibling rivalry, and you rolled a 17. Slightly older brother. Okay, copy. Slightly older brother. And it's supposed to be going here. Paste. Rivalry. Okay, all right, you got that one? And then we're going to do another one, since we're doing both. And Pale Rider rolled a 16, and he wanted separation. That's not separation, though. Separation. What is separation if you roll a 16? Kind of curious. Separation. 16 is separation for your safety or someone else's. Okay. All right, let's do that. Let's put that in there. It's very Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that'll do. All right, we'll do our life path as well. So while we're here, since we're on the life path, pick a life path, roll a d20. Hashtag pick a life, not path, event. It's a life event. Just one. Pick a life event and roll d20. Okay. What do we got? I will read out the different life events. Are we ready? First one is life episodes. Next one is tragedy. We had tragedy last time. Next one is windfall. After that we get enemy, friendship, the cause, who does what can be thrown, who ticked off who, romance. You don't think you need to worry too much after that. Romance is romance. New relationship. We have previous relationship, feelings, issues, misfortune. Which one would you prefer? Bum, bum, bum. Pick one, roll it, d20, let us know. I see. So you want windfall. I just need a d20 roll. Windfall is fine. I just need a d20 roll. 11. Okay, windfall and at 11. Okay, let's have a look. Windfall. Is it? Did I just go past it? I probably did, didn't I? Wind. Here we go. Windfall number 11. Oh, this is a really huge chart. So you're going to roll twice for this little sucker. So first, yeah, there's two rolls required, two D20 rolls required for me to make this work. I think that's right. Oh, it's a D4 and then it's a D20. Oh, good Lord. It's a pain. I'm just going to take this one. There's 11. That'll do. Windfall. Lots of variation there, but yes, I'm not in for it. Windfall, and we'll just pick that one there. That's fine. Windfall. The debitor can bring in a small group like a gang. Okay, and a few employees. Okay, cool. Slightly older brother. For your safety, someone else's. Okay, so we've got that done. That's that bit done. Let's deal with the class features, and then we'll do our equipment after. You rolled a 2. Okay, I think when you rolled a 2, I was on the right table anyway. If you rolled a 2, then windfall would fall under this. So it's all good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Done. Awesome. Let's go over to the different classes. The class itself and the class features. Top of the hour. Still got time. I need a drink of water. I need a lozenge. I tell you, man, these character building live streams, they take a lot out of me. There's so much to track. There is so much to track and do. Someone was telling me that I need to do a Dungeons & Dragons 5e character build for level 1 characters using a fillable PDF. Because apparently nobody knows how to fill out a character sheet for Dungeons & Dragons 5e without using D&D Beyond or a character builder of some kind. And I'm like, seriously? Is it got that bad? Is it really that bad that we cannot build a character without relying on that sort of technology? That's just a sad thing. Tech points. So we get tech points. We add our tech points, which are 3. So we get 3 tech points. Let us read out the tech points section. Fred, go pee. You're going to hurt yourself. Oh, I don't need to pee. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just a bit jacked today. I haven't been taking drugs. Anyway, tech points. This is how it works. At first level, you get tech points, TPs, and we get 3. They can be used to boost abilities and perform exploits representative of your training. At first level, you start with points equal to 3 plus your intelligence modifier. Well, that changes things. So I'm going to have to change it from a 3 plus our intelligence modifier, which increases by 1 every additional level. Oh, good Lord. Yes, it does. You're right, it does. Any spent tech points are recovered after you finish a long rest. So this has got a long rest mechanic. So let's determine our tech points correctly, since that's our int modifier and our tech points, which is 3. So that is 4 and 3 is 7. We get 7 tech points. Change mine to spliced. Spliced is good. Human is an answer to the question. I don't know. What are we talking about here? What do we got? No, we're all good. We're all good. Okay, keep going. Next page. Turning it over. I don't know what we do with our tech points necessarily, so I'm sure that's going to be explained a little bit later on. Now I'm going to go to the shiny red button. At first level, you can put a button on your firearm. You only need 8 hours of work to put the button on your new firearm, but only you can press it without breaking the weapon. Well, that's useful. The button's function is determined by your choices from the options that follow. You can add as many functions into your button as you have available tech points. Oh lordy. Okay, now I understand where this is going. This is feeding off the tech points. But each modification can only be added once per configuration unless stated otherwise. Okay. If you don't alter the function outside of a battle, your last configuration is used if you have the available points. Okay, this is going to get a bit confusing, a bit complicated. Let's just work through this slowly. Press the button takes no action. Okay, that's always helpful. When pressing the button, you spend the tech points corresponding with each of the functions added. If you don't have enough tech points when you press the button, the entire configuration does not function. Once pressed, its effect lasts 5 minutes. So it's a 5-minute thing. Okay. You can own multiple weapons with different configurations, as the points are not spent unless the button is pushed. Though pushing multiple buttons during a single battle would be rather wasteful. Change a configuration takes 5 minutes, so that's not very long at all. Although you can attempt to change a configuration as an action with a DC 15 intelligence engineering check, you cannot change a configuration while one is in effect without voiding the invested tech points of the previous configuration. Oh my gosh, okay. Chris, this is a lot. Additionally, you can attempt to regain a lost tech point with a DC 5 intelligence engineering check. That's a very easy thing to do. That's not hard to do at all. That's very, very simple. Honestly, you put a DC 5 in there. Additionally, you can attempt to regain a lost tech point with a DC 5 intelligence engineering check. Each check takes 1 minute. Okay, there's a time frame. And successful checks increase the DC by 5. DC 10, DC 15, etc. Okay. So in other words, you can't just keep doing it and it's always going to be a 5 and just regain all your tech points. So it's going to get harder every time you try to redo it. Okay, I see what you're doing here. The DC increases regardless if you succeeded in recovering the point or not. Okay, I get it. And the check reverts back to a DC 5 when you take a long rest. So okay, so this is performed during a day. Chris, you're going to have to help me a little bit as I try to work my way through this, because this is going to be quite complicated, I can see right now. It might take me a little bit of work to explain all of this to people. I still have a booklet of second edition character sheets. Most of mine are written on notebook paper though. I still have a program I wrote for PC generation database somewhere near 1989. Oh, good on. Okay. I know you're into tracking encumbrance, Fred. I'm very much aware. Here we go. So, as I read through these, they have different costs. My understanding is that the button can have a certain number of configurations. You only need 8 hours to work on da. Let's just see how this is gonna work. Takes no action. That's fine. You can own multiple weapons with different. Okay, so you can add as many functions into your button as you have available tech points, but each modification can only be added once per configuration. So that means we could have up to spend all 7 points, I believe, to do this. Correct? I think that's the idea. Okay. Charge shot. The cost is 1 or 2 points. Each time you hit a target your size or smaller, you shove it 5 feet. If the target cannot be shoved, it takes 1d6 additional damage. You can add this function twice to push the target 10 feet and increase the damage to 2d6. Larger creatures are unaffected. Okay, that's fine. So we understand how that works. Explosive round. The cost is 1 point. When you score a critical hit, you roll all damage dice thrice instead of twice. So 3 times instead of twice. Understood. Got it. Floating ridicule. Ridicule. Floating ridicule. So basically this is a targeter, isn't it? Cost is 2 points. You gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls. Okay. Which would be very useful. Next. Hydro shock. Cost 2 to 4 points. You deal additional damage with a hit equal to the difference between your attack roll and the target's armor class to a maximum of 4. Okay, so this is trying to turn your attack roll into the damage producer. Add this modification a second time to increase the maximum to 8. Alright, so you're either going to make the... So you can either push it up to maximum of 8 or maximum of 4. 2 points for a maximum of 4. 4 points for a maximum of 8. Core blimey. Alright. Next one. Increased caliber. So the cost is either 2 points, 4 points, or 6 points. So we could afford this. Your weapon's damage gains a +2 bonus. Okay, fair enough. This stacks with any other effect that increases damage. You can add this modification up to 3 times. So in other words, I'm assuming if we spend two of our tech points, we can push our damage increase by +2. If we have spend 4 tech points, we get +4 bonus damage. And if we push our tech point, if we spend 6 tech points, then we can push our damage to 6 bonus damage. Okay, got it. Increased rate of fire. Cost is 2 points. You double the rate of fire on your weapon. 10 for auto, 20 for auto heavy. Okay, I get it. When using burst fire, you add double your proficiency bonus to the save DC, and you always use the upscale damage dice. If targeting single creatures with your weapon, damage bonus increases by +2. This stacks with any other effect that increases this damage bonus. I can see right now there's a lot of things here which you would probably take, if you can, that will always be in effect. They're sort of like static numbers, static effects. It'd be probably one of the smartest things to do. Anyway, next. Increased round velocity. Cost 1 point. When you roll a 1 or 2 on damage dice, you can re-roll. You must accept the new roll even if it is a 1 or a 2. Okay. Muzzle flash bang. Cost is 2 points. Any creature you hit within 20 feet of you has disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the beginning of your next turn. Forcing somebody to have disadvantage is very rare, so this is actually quite useful. But you need to be close. Pop-up eyepieces. The cost is 1 point. If you roll a 2 or a 3 on your attack roll, you can re-roll. Okay. So 2 or 3 on your attack roll, you can re-roll. You must accept the second. You must accept the second results. Okay. All right. Next. Rapid loader. The cost is 4 points or 8 points of tech. So we wouldn't be able to push it up to 8, but maybe to 4. You gain 1 additional attack whenever you take the attack action on your turn. You can add this modification up to 2 times. This stacks with Pioneer. Does it? All right. Okay. It stacks with Pioneer. All right. Smart tracking. Cost is 6 points. You have advantage on attack rolls. That would be very, very useful. It's why it's so expensive. I get it. Got it. Next one. Target scanning. Cost is 3 points. Your weapon scores a critical hit on a natural roll of 19 or 20. So improved critical is basically what this is. That's what it is. It's improved critical, isn't it? So now that we have seen that, we have to pick some things to add to our button. Hashtag pick some functions for the red button. The red button reminds me of the Fifth Element a little bit. You know how the Fifth Element, they had this red button on the weapon that the monsters are using, and if you press the red button, kaboom, explode. Death is coming. Well, you tell me which ones you want to spend it on, and I will assign them to our red button. Okay, that's fine. You just let me know what they are, and we'll do it. And then we're going to do the widget bang and the tech savant, which I think is more sort of utility function rather than combat. I think that's the intention behind that. Pardon me, people. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. I was supposed to be paying attention. Were you not paying attention? Well, okay, fine. Then I will go and put in the mathematics for the ability acrobatics. I will read them out again, and you just pick one once. I'm not going to read all the information again. Pick the function for the red buttons. Charge shot, explosive round, floating reticle, hydro shock, increased caliber, increased rate of fire, increased round velocity, muzzle flash bang, pop-up eyepieces, rapid loader, smart tracking, target scanning. Tell me what you want. You want the improved critical one. Target scanning. That's what you want. Target scanning. The improved critical. Explosive rounds. Okay. All right. Target scanning. I think I'm just going to go here and go target scanning. There we go. Copy. Back to our red button. Where is it? Gun functions. Okay. Target scanning. And drop this in. Cool. And there is an explosive round one. Is it smart tracking? I thought it was target scanning. Is it smart tracking? No, it's target. Smart tracking is 6 points. That's very expensive. We can do the explosive round, I'm pretty sure. Explosive round is 1 point. That's fine. Explosive round, you still have 3 points to spend. If I've got this right. I hope so. Now, what are we doing here? It's explosive round. So you've got 3 more that you can spend on functions, and then we're done. Yes, by all means, the 6 or 7 people who are here, you can jump in here on this. You do realise this. You can override them. Smart tracking, improved critical, increased rate. Increased rate might be something you can spend on because it's yeah. Explosive round is only 1 tech point, whereas the target scanning is, I think it's 3, isn't it? Yeah, it's 3 points. And then increased rate, if I can find it, increased rate of fire is 2 points. Copy. You've still got 1 point left, which of course you don't have to spend if you don't want to, but you know. Widget bag. Let's see that the widget bag and put it down the bottom here. It's going to get in the way. Cut. Paste. Increased rate of fire, I believe it, isn't it? Increased rate of fire. Increased rate of fire, which is 2 points, which leaves you with 1 point left if we're going up to 7 points. Have I got this right? Yes, yes, yes. Yep, we got 1 more that we can push to, and you're going to have to spend a 1 pointer. Rapid reloader, charge shot. Okay, let's have a look. Rapid reloader, charge shot. Rapid reloader is too expensive. Charge shot. Yep, you can do charge shot. That's fine. Charge shot. We spend 1 point, we get charge shot. Come on. This is really frustrating when this does this, and I gotta readjust things. I get nervous that and we'll put that in there, paste, and I just need to make sure it's charge shot, isn't it? Come on. Charged shot. 1 tech point. And we've got all our tech points spent. Cool, blimey. So you've got a few things you can do with that little sucker. So yeah, you can tailor it quite nicely for all sorts of different things. An interesting concept. Now, rapid reload sounds X-rated. I don't know about X-rated, but you're letting your imagination run away with you. We're going to go back to Tech Savant, but I want to do the widget because the widget, I believe, is fairly basic. So widget bag. Starting at first level, you gain a widget bag. It contains random spare parts, useful materials, and salvage worth 200. During a short or long rest, you can scavenge for components. In most areas, you will be able to recover $10 worth during a short rest and $20 worth during a long rest, but the GM may award more or less or none at all at her discretion. So the widget bag is a it's an odd thing, isn't it, really? It's really a mechanic where you can go and scrounge for stuff. We will include this. This is a very unusual feature, Chris. I'm going to say it now. I like the idea. I'm just wondering how many arguments there are going to be. I can just see it now. I can see a lot of people having little arguments about how that's going to work. Right, cut this out of here. And we'll do the Tech Savant, which I believe is more of the... we might even just separate this a little bit so that they're a bit easier to see. Paste. Okay, let me go back to Tech Savant and work our way through Tech Savant since we've done the old widget bag. So this you also get at level 1. Tech Savant. Starting at first level, you gain one of the following traits that reflect the uniqueness of your talents. Some require the spending of tech points. Okay, interesting. So spending all our tech points on our red button might have not been a bad idea. This is interesting. I like this. You gain additional Tech Savant traits at second level, at level 5, 10, 13, 17, and 20. So here we go. Economical plating. You gain a +1 bonus to armor class. Additionally, you can temporarily increase your armor's potential, spending 1 tech point as an action to increase your armor an additional +1 for 5 minutes. So you could use this without using tech points, or you could use it with tech points. That's always a good thing. Okay, so we've got economical plate armor. I'm going to put in and make sure that you guys are paying attention. So hashtag pick a Tech Savant ability. As I read through, remember you get one of these, so you have to decide which one it's going to be. Next one is fail safe. If someone other than you attempts to use your weapon with the shiny red button on it, regardless if they press it, the weapon explodes. Oh dear. Inflicting a critical hit of weapon damage on the unlucky handler. This is very 007. And stunning them until the beginning of your next turn. The weapon is now broken and it can be fixed normally. Okay, all right. So even though it does explode, it's not completely lost. You can fix it. It's not the same. I feel like this feature feels like a anti-Q feature. Friggin' lovin' science. So friggin' lovin' science. Spend a tech point and you have advantage on intelligence, science, or intelligence engineering checks until the end of your next turn. If you select this trait as a second time, you can spend 1 tech point to set your next D20 roll, intelligence, science, or intelligence engineering check to a natural 20. What? If you select this trait a second time, you can spend 1 tech point to set your next D20 roll for intelligence, science, intelligence engineering check to a natural 20. So you can force it to a natural 20. Oh dear. Well, if you want to make sure you succeed on that science or intelligence check, this would be a way to do it. You got to have a few tech points free, but yes, okay, wow. Next Immediacy. Spend 1 tech point as a bonus action to gain an additional action on this turn. This action can be used to take any action except the attack action. Okay, so it's not like cunning action for the fighter in D&D 5e, people. Like machines, your maximum tech points increase by 2. Okay, so you can push them up to 2. You can select this trait up to 4 times. Wow. Midas Touch. While you are wielding a firearm, your damage bonus increases by 2. And you can select this trait twice, and its effect stacks with others that increase this damage bonus. Okay. Priorities. What are your priorities? I don't know. Instead of using your hit dice to recover hit points during a short rest, you can spend them to regain tech points. Oh dear. For each hit dice spent, you recover 2 tech points rather than recovering hit points. So if you spend your hit dice, if you got only 1 at level 1, you can get 2 tech points back rather than recovering hit points. Okay, all right. You cannot have more tech points than your maximum, so you can't go beyond your maximum, which would be 7. Scientist, not a soldier. When you use the disengage action, you can also make a single ranged attack as part of the same action. You inflict half damage on a hit. Okay. Shrapnel modification. You can now spend tech points in combat for an immediate boost to your weapon with your shiny red button while it is active. Spend 1 tech point after you hit, and the target is vulnerable to ally attacks until the beginning of your next turn. Okay. Okay. Well, there's a lot to pick from here. Like that's quite a lot of stuff to pick from. We could go anywhere under the sun. You love science. You want that twice. You want science twice? You want the science one twice. Friggin' love science. Spend 1 tech point and you have advantage on intelligence. Okay. Alright, so you want to free up some tech points to be able to make that happen. I'm fine with that. It is very, friggin' love science is very much about the techie, right? If you wanted stuff for fighting, that's great. But this actually gives you something that you can use related outside of combat, which is exactly what, if you're playing a techie character, you'd probably want, correct? So let's friggin' love science. We will trim off so that because you've got to spend this tech point to be able to have advantage. So we need to trim off some of these modifications. We need to trim off 2 points so that we're freed up a little bit. So let's go back to our tiny red button and trim off 2. Increase rate of fire. Let's just get rid of that one. Let's just get increased rate of fire. We'll just remove that one. And we'll keep the others. I think that's right. Let's just check it first. So there's a 3, 1 that's 4, another 1 is 5, and we get 2 points left to use our friggin' love science one. Okay, there you go. Pow, that was nice and easy. Was that the choice that you would make? I don't know. But I'm not here to build the character for you, really. I'm just here to encourage you to give it a go and maybe try it out. That's the whole point of these live streams, if it wasn't obvious to people. Priority. You like priority, do you? Let's just roll. I rolled a 3. It's the science one. Priority was 4 to 6. Okay, done. That was nice and quick and easy. Next, we need to do some gear purchasing. All right, there is some gear that needs to be purchased, and this is usually the time where my mind starts to explode a little bit. Hashtag pick a. Now there are some things that we can have. Pick a small arms gun worth 300. worth 300. Come on, Fred. 300. Got it? Yeah. We're going to do this. Next, you're also going to pick a set of armor. Hashtag. Pick set of, it is light or medium. Light or medium. Armor worth 300. Okay, all right, let's go to our gear section now, since we have to buy some stuff. All right, I see you putting some stuff in there already, but you know, here we go. And we will just zoom in, out a little bit more. And here we are in the equipment section, which is incredibly large. There's a lot of stuff here. Okay, we'll scroll on past. Let's get to our small arms. One-handed small arms. So what can you have? Based off the data that we have here, you can have a air dart pistol, if you like, for 150. You could have a break action shot pistol for 300. You could have a capsicum spray for 55. You're probably not going to pick that one. You could have a grappling hook for 50. You could have a high caliber autoloader for 250. You could have a low caliber autoloader for 250. You could have a machine pistol for 300. You could have a one-handed grenade launcher. Oh God, here we go again. For 300. This is the problem. This is the problem with this. Is the 300 grenade, the grenade launcher almost always gets picked. Next, you can have a pocket pistol for 200. You can have a revolver for 150. For those of you who are here, this is really just to sort of let you know that there's some stuff that you can have. Okay. I almost know immediately what they're going to pick, because this always happens. Machine pistol looks like it. You want the machine pistol? Yeah. Machine pistol. Mini grenade. Yes, it is. The best thing you can get is usually the one-handed mini grenade launcher. Oh, it's a machine pistol today. Oh my gosh. I almost passed out. I was not expecting the machine pistol today. It's because you can't buy a whole truckload of grenades to load into that that grenade launcher, isn't it? I bet you it's that. I suspect. I suspect that might be the reason. Let me go here. Paste machine pistol, and machine pistol up here. We'll make sure we've got that ready to go. Machine pistol. The damage output for a machine pistol is not high. Machine pistols do 1d4. And there's a lot of shots in them, but I'm not going to go all of that. It's a 1d4 for damage. 1d4 plus. And it is our dex modifier, so it is a 4. So we get a lot added to that. Our attack bonus for our machine pistol is going to be our dexterity modifier and our proficiency bonus, because we're proficient with it. So that's going to be a +6 when you shoot somebody. Well done. Okay. Okay, so that's our small arms sorted out. Now it's time for armor. Moving over across down to armor. We're going to be, don't get upset, okay? Techie doesn't get a two-handed small arms, okay? You can't use those. That's life. See down here it says here, you get to pick get simple weapons or one-handed small arms. There's no two-handed small arms for you. Okay, you can buy a light one-handed grenade launcher later, I'm sure, if you ever get enough money. Heavy weapons are not for us. Keep moving. Super heavy weapons are not for us either. We're going to keep moving along. I apologize if it's, I can just sort of out. Let's go out a little bit so you can actually sort of see what's going on here. It's a little bit weird when it's all zoomed in. And until we find the armor section, then I will increase our zoom function. Ammunition, not worry about that. I don't care. Here we go. Now that's melee. Now you can. It doesn't say that you get a melee weapon, but you do have some money to spend. You have 10 10. You could buy a melee weapon. You could buy brass knuckles if you wanted, or a plug bayonet. If you really particularly wanted to have a plug bayonet or brass knuckles, you could have that if you wanted. But if you're not really caring about that sort of stuff, that's fine. It's all good. I don't mind. Okay? So you let me know if you want a melee weapon, because you can have a simple melee weapon. Yep, there is the option. See? Simple melee weapon. And you do have enough money to buy it. Okay, next. Armor. No, not demolitions. Moving down. You won't be able to afford demolitions, not with the kind of cash you're floating around with. Anyway, here is our armor section. You can wear light armor and medium armor, but you can only spend $300 on your armor. That's the limit. So you could have the leather textile at 20, or the ballistic armor at 40, or the synthetic weave at 40. I would suggest that probably the ballistic armor for light armor is probably going to be better for you, frankly, just in terms of price range, because when you look at something like your medium armor, your starting armor would be something like force body vest, which is 50, which is 13 plus your dex modifier, but your dex modifier is restricted to 2 now. And the Aramid combat suit is 200. You can afford it. It gives you 14 plus your dex modifier. That'll give you an armor class of 16 with your dex modifier of +4. But you have disadvantage on stealth checks, and it's a bit heavier than normal. The weight's probably not the issue though. Then you have the armored survival suit, which is 300, which you can still afford, and that would be 15 plus your dex modifier. But you would have disadvantage. You can probably get away with just going with the ballistic, or there's trade-offs. You have to make a choice. You have to make a choice about what it's going to be. Hello, Cal-Rel, how are you? You want the brass knuckles, Pale Rider? Your wish is my command. Brass knuckles are yours. Brass knuckles. Brass knuckles. There we go. Let's put the brass knuckles. That's not how it works, Fred. Brass knuckles. Let's put it into here so we calculate it for you, so you know what the math is going to be. Right. This is part of the reason why I'm supposed to be here, is put it in the maths. Otherwise, why would you bother? Right. Brass knuckles. You're going to be punching people, so that's your strength modifier, which is +1, and your proficiency modifier, which is +2. So you get a +3 for punching people. I find that amusing. Anyway, ballistic armor. The ballistic looks like the best deal. Okay, ballistic it is. Your armor class won't be quite as high as it could be, but you won't have disadvantage on stealth checks, which is why I was suggesting the ballistic. So we go copy. And of course, your choices will change once you have a bit more cash. When you have money in your bank, then it'll change. So paste. We're going to have to buy some other gear in a second. Don't worry, we'll get to that. So that is ballistic armor 2 for 16 for your armor class, 16. And your initiative is going to be your dex modifier, which is a +4. There we go. Put that number in now. And I need to do the calculation for the brass knuckles, since I've already gone kind of backwards a bit. We'll zoom out a little bit here and then go back and find the melee weapons and the damage for that. I'll do the calculation now. Okay, here we go. Brass knuckles do +2 bludgeoning damage. +2. I'm assuming, because normally in D&D 5e, when you punch somebody with something, right? When you do just a punch, it's just 1 plus your strength modifier. I'm assuming what this means is that this is 2 plus your strength modifier when you punch somebody. Unless it's a finessable weapon. Is it finessable? It is a finessable weapon. Oh, and it's light. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. You get to use your dexterity. Oh my gosh. So it's not a +3 to hit. It's a finesse and it's a light. So that means you get to use your dexterity modifier and your proficiency bonus, and you get a 6 to hit. Ha! And then when you do your damage, you also get to use your +4 for your dex modifier And instead of adding 1 to that, because it's brass knuckles, you're going to get a 2. So 2 plus 4 is a 6. There's your damage. You can do 6 points of damage when you smack somebody rather than doing really 2 points of damage, which is what you would normally do in D&D 5e. Because D&D 5e doesn't understand that, frankly, if you can use a short sword and it's light and finessable, why can you not do that with your fists and brass knuckles? So, but Chris understands this. I'm glad to see. Awesome. Wonderful. Have to go for a bit. No problems, Pale Rider. It's all good. Right, so we're doing pretty well in terms of our gear. We still have some money to spend. We have to buy some gear that is not weapon-based. Okay, that is just gear. It's techie gear, not explosives. Okay, it's got to be techie gear. So I'm going to go to the techie gear section now. So we'll scroll on down. There's a lot of scrolling. For those of you who thought there was very little stuff the way of gear and equipment in Dungeons & Dragons 5e's Player's Handbook, this is not the case with this book. This book is full of stuff. Yes, there is a whole bunch of stuff you can do to your armor, and there's a whole lot of stuff you can do to shields. We're going to just rip past all this because we're going to spend $300 on just gear. We're in the gear section now. Here we go. Gear. Let me zoom in so you can actually see what the heck it is. There are some things that you can have. Now, you can't have the combat stuff. It did state before you can't have combat. So detonators, but you can have toolkits. We've already got an engineering toolkit, so you don't have to worry about that. Just forget about that one. Okay, but there are other things that you can have. So you can have a battery flare. You can have battery cell. There's a couple of different ones. You can have big ears. I don't know what big. Oh no, it wouldn't. It's too expensive. It's 1,000. You couldn't afford it. You can have binoculars though. That's only 20. What gear do you want? Hashtag. What gear do you want? Let's get that question out there. Ha ha. Am I running out of water yet? A little bit. Let's have a look. So there's a bunch of stuff here that you'll be familiar with. You can have a briefcase if you want a briefcase. I don't know why you would, but I suppose you could have a briefcase. You can have bolt cutters. You could have caltrops. That's useful. You can have a camera ball. Oh, no, you can't. It's too expensive. Camera ball is 500. So that's too much. You only got 300 to spend. Okay, so next one. You can have a chemical light stick. You can get 5 of those for $1. There you go. It's like the sun rod in D&D, the old D&D game. Climbing boots for 50. You can get clothes. Who cares about clothes? You can have a compass for $1. You know, a compass would be useful. A compass for $1. A digital audio recorder for $10. You've got 1 to 10, 50 for a digital camera. I find that highly amusing as to what that means exactly, but I'm assuming you can spend $1 and still get a digital camera. It must be very, is it small? Is it big? I don't know. Duct tape for $1. Look, if you haven't seen MacGyver, you know that you should always take duct tape with you. Okay, what are you doing if you're not taking duct tape? You have not been doing your studies. Next one. You can't have the electro-optical sensor. Sorry, it's too expensive. But you can have an electric torch for $10. The filament camera is out of your price range, but you can have a fire extinguisher. Wouldn't it not be useful to have something that can actually extinguish a fire? The number of times where there's been a fire and I wanted a fire extinguisher and I couldn't, I had to just drop and roll or throw a towel over it or a blanket or just, empty my canteen onto the fire. Fire extinguisher. I'm going to carry that around. You can't have the flash goggles, too expensive. You can't have the force shield, that's too expensive. You can have a gas mask no, you can't. It's too expensive as well. You're going to die in the gases. Sorry, buddy. Glow paint for $5. That's quite cool. Gravity lenses for $5,000. No, you can't afford that. Sorry, you don't get the cool stuff. Grip gloves, $3,000. Well, if you've been watching Mission Impossible, you know that grip gloves are probably going to fail you and you're going to fall to your death anyway if you've been watching enough of Mission Impossible. You can have handcuffs for $3. You can't have the holographic generator because that's 15,000. Sorry, can't have that one. Infrared goggles, 6,000. You don't get that cool stuff either. A lie detector for 1,500. You can't have that either. A light bender for 15,000. No, you can't have that. I don't even know what it does. We've got light sticks again. For I don't know. Is that a different type of one? I don't know. That's weird. Okay. A metal detector. No, you can't afford a metal detector. It's 500. You can't have that one. A nano healer, 250. You could afford a nano healer. If you wanted a nano healer, you could have that. Or you could just leave it for the medic to get. You can have a pillow for $1. Parabolic microphone is too expensive for you. You can't have that one. Perfume or cologne for 100. Wow. At least you can make sure you smell good as you're doing your adventuring. You can have a portable RAM for 2,500 if you had enough money, which you don't. You can have a puppet. Chris, you put a puppet in here. Why would that? What the heck are you going to do with a puppet for $5? A rover robot would be handy though for 100. A rover robot feels like send out the rover robot to inspect a location and let it get blown up. A shovel for $5. You always want to have a shovel. A sleeping bag for 10. A smartphone for 100. Well, you look. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's the first thing you're going to buy is the smartphone and then the soap. Soap for $1 if you want soap. A spike strip is too expensive at 500. Survival rations for 1 week is $2. Suspension filament is 200. I don't know what the heck that is, but you can afford it. Tablet assistant for $50. A towel for $1. So if you've ever, you know what the towel is for. A two-way radio for $20. That might be useful. You might need a couple of those though. An ultrasound goggles, 10,000. You can't afford that. You don't get the cool stuff. A watch, an automatic watch, $10. You can afford that. A whistle for $1. You can have a widget bag. Well, you have a widget bag already for $10. So I don't know why you would need that. A standard adventurer's kit for $15. Sunglasses for $50. Well, that's a no-brainer. Got to take that. And tent for $10. So let's see what you have decided you would like to have. I can see there's been a lot of selections going on here. I'm kind of curious as to what you've put down. It'd be very entertaining to try to add this all up, but I'm not going to do that very much. Yeah, I'll add it all up. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. 10 chemical light sticks. Okay, right. Chemical light stick. So the good thing about a chemical light stick is it probably glows underwater. And that's a good thing if you're underwater. If you're not underwater, it's not, but you know. Soap, because you've got to always be clean. You know, you've got to make sure you're clean. A watch, automatic watch. Is there a manual watch? I'm just wondering, what's the difference between an auto watch and a manual watch? A digital recorder. Can you afford the digital recorder? I'm kind of curious now. Digital audio recorder. Yes, you can have a digital audio recorder. It's not that expensive either. It's pretty cheap. Paste it. Sunglasses to look cool. Yes, sunglasses. Only the essentials. 5 duct tape. Oh god, duct tape. Here we go. Yep, duct tape. You always need duct tape, so we're going to have 5 of those. That's fine. What's next on this list here? Glow paint. Is there glow paint? Did I miss glow paint? Where's the glow paint? Oh, there is glow paint. There is glow paint. It's not that expensive either. It's pretty cheap. Let's get some glow paint. I can just see everybody switching off right now. Oh god, they're buying the gear. That's the boring bit. Glow paint. So you want 2 glow paints. A briefcase, so I look official. The briefcase is pretty cheap, isn't it? A briefcase is like briefcase. Look at that. It's only 20. You can have a briefcase. Now you look official. Now you can stick all your other stuff. You can put your duct tape in there. Sorry, I'm not really sorry. By the way, a rover robot. I like the idea. I like your style. Rover robot. Rover robot. Tablet assistant. A smartphone. Oh, we're spending too much now. You can only get up to 300, so something's gotta go. Some things have to be 5-finger discount. Okay, all right. 5-finger here. Look, you can have. I'll throw in the smartphone. You can't have the tablet assistant. You've got a personal computer anyway. So I don't know what you would. Why are you complaining? I know you're not. Why are you complaining? Smartphone. Smart. Can I get the word phone in there? Yeah, I can. Okay. And we've definitely spent all of your money. I think we had standard adventurous kit. Yeah, you can have that as well. I don't care. Adventurous kit. I don't care. There you go. But you got no cash. I've taken all your money away. You lost that $5. You probably got a lot more than that. so there we go. So that's that bit done. I should do the numbers on this because I'm running out of time, and I've been mucking around. So our acrobatics is just our dex modifier, which is a 4. And then if I go down here and find dex, where's the rest of the dexies? Dexies under stealth dex. It's a 4. Sleight of hand. It is a 4. And I think that's all the dexes. Next we go with wisdom, which is a +2 for animal handling. +2, just our wisdom bonus. Wisdom is insight. We are also proficient with that, so that's a 2 and a 2, which comes to a 4. We get a 4 for that one. Wisdom. Medicine, just a +2 for medicine. You're not that good at that. Next, perception. You are proficient, and you got a 2+ proficiency with the modifier, which has come to a 4. Performance is charisma, so forget about that one. Dexterity, wisdom. Here we go. Wisdom is +2 for survival. Dom. And I'm doing the numbers now fairly quickly. All right, intelligence is really high at a arcana. I don't think there's going to be that much arcana going on, but you get a +4 for that one. Next, computer skills. You got 4 plus your proficiency bonus, which is going to be a 6 on that skill. Intelligence, demolitions. So you get a +6 for demolitions and engineering. And history is going to be a +4, so you're all right with that one. Investigation is proficient as well, so you get a 6 on that little sucker. Nature is a +4. Intelligence, religion is a +4 because it's just your modifier, but you are actually trained in science, so you get the +2 and the +4, which comes to a +6. Wonderful. Strength is just +1 because that's what your modifier is, so that's that one done. Charisma is a 2, so deception is just a +2. Intimidation is just a +2 for intimidation because it's just your modifier. You got performance plus the proficiency bonus, so it's a +4 for that one. Modifier and proficiency. Persuasion is just a +2. And then perception, passive perception 10 plus your perception score is, or modifier, there's a 14. 14, got it in. All right, I think I got it all down. Have I filled in all the bits? Let's put it here. Fred, Huber, put your name in there. We've got all the details down now. Got all the information. Took us a little while. Got there though. Dum. Ba-da! And just like that, you make an ULTRAMODERN 5 character. It's only taken me 2 hours going through step by step, but we got there. It took a little while. I understand. Let's end this poll here. I'm kind of curious what it says because I haven't been looking there. So what does the poll say? We did all the interesting stuff. Exactly, we did. Have you made a tech character for Ultramodern 5? No, 45%. Not surprised. Trying to change that a little bit. Just watching, 36%. Yes, 18%. Interesting. Incomplete is nothing. So out of 11 people who voted, 18% have actually made a tech character before. And if you were here in this live stream, you kind of made a techie character in this live stream, didn't you? Really? If you think about it. So that means that all of you who've been here from the very beginning to the end have actually made a techie character. Just because I was typing in all the information doesn't mean that you didn't make the character. Just saying. Anyway, I got to get out of here. I got to go work. It's like that. I will be back tomorrow. We are going to be covering tomorrow, what are we doing? Complex combat mechanics for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. I have returned to D&D 5e for a few weeks, so we're going to do complex combat mechanics tomorrow, and then next week we'll do magic, and the week after we do homebrew rules. So we've got 3 more weeks of D&D 5e, and then you probably won't see any D&D 5e for quite some time. That's just how things work. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. So I need to go. So huge thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening. Thank you for taking part in the poll. Huge thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon who support me so I can keep running this program. I really like the idea of running this program so I can help you play different games. And if you're struggling with the character building process for a game system, hopefully we can get you past that and into it. And it also forces me to learn new systems, which is also a good thing as well. I want to also thank those people in chat who have been commenting and providing their feedback and making it possible. Otherwise, it's just me pumping in information rather than you being part of that process. So huge thank you to Fred Huber. Without Fred Huber, who's a patron, would not work. And Pale Rider, who's hanging out with us as well and did a lot of work as well. Cal Rel, thank you for being here. I also want to thank Chris Deus, the creator of Ultramodern 5, for coming and hanging out with us. He's probably working on something and just listening in the background. I would suspect that's probably what's going on. So Deus Ex Machina, thank you for hanging out, and I will be back again next week. Same day, same time, same bad channel to do more of this. But till then, wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, or the night, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours, and maybe try out Ultramodern 5. Why not? Anyway, keep rolling those 20s.